Welcome back to Real Dreams TV. I'm your host, Glenn Gilliam, and today we're talking to New York's movers and shakers in entertainment, sports, and public relations. Enjoy. Tonight we've got an incredible opportunity to talk to one of the rising stars on web and TV, Andrea Lewis from Black Actress. Andrea,
Yes.
so good to see you.
Thank you.
Thanks
Thank you for having me.
Yeah. She's taking time out of her busy schedule, and she was here for the American Black Film Festival, and we'll get into that a little bit. But I got some basic stuff that our audience has to know. Where are you from?
Okay, I'm from Toronto, Canada.
Canada?
Yeah.
You have two passports, is that?
Yeah, basically.
No, that's great.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, I'm born and raised in Toronto, and yeah, so most people, for some reason, people don't always think that. People naturally think that I'm from LA.
Right,
But yeah, but there's a lot of Canadians that live in LA.
There's a lot of Canadians in America. Maybe we should look into that.
Right? What's going on?
Everybody's worried about Mexico.
Exactly. Very worried about these Canadians.
It's the sunny disposition. I think it's the glow.
That's what I think it is.
Yeah,
We're naturally very friendly. You can just always tell a Canadian.
Right.
Yeah.
And you guys have good health care, too.
There we go.
So, family is still there?
Yeah, my parents both still live in Toronto, and my entire family. I mean, my family migrated from the West Indies, but yeah, all of them, for the most part, live in Toronto.
And we're from the West Indies.
My mom is from Jamaica, and my father's from St. Vincent.
The Brooklyn family's going to love that.
Yeah, there's lots of West Indians in Brooklyn.
I think so.
Yeah,
I heard that.
yeah,
Yes.
it's great. It's great.
They haven't had to be relocated yet,
Yeah, exactly.
which is a beautiful thing. We have to talk about the fact that you were a child star, starting at 6 years old.
Yeah, I mean, I guess even younger than that. I started really. My mom was approached by a casting director in the mall when I was 2 years old, or a year old, and then she didn't know, because at the time it's like she really didn't know anybody doing that.
Right.
This could be a scam. She just didn't know. The next year she was on maternity leave with my brother, and so she had more time. So she was like, "All right, well, let's see." Called the casting person. They remembered us, and then I just started. I started doing a print, and like just doing baby modeling, and then commercials, and I just continued to progress. And my mom was kind of like an easygoing mom, where she treated it the same as like swimming or karate. It wasn't like pressure.
Right.
It was like, "Oh, okay, you booked a commercial. Awesome, that's great." And I happened to like it, like just to genuinely love it.
Just
so
gravitated to it.
yeah.
Cool. So did you bring any baby pictures?
No.
We may have some.
Yeah.
That's in fact. I mean, I'm so enamored with the whole process because I wasn't familiar with Degrassi, but for you folks that are uninitiated, Degrassi, is that like a Disney kind of?
It's a Nickelodeon, so it
A
was on
Nickelodeon,
Nickelodeon
okay.
MTV.
Sorry, Nickelodeon.
Yeah, and it's a teen drama.
Okay.
It's focused in a high school around teenagers, and
Right.
yeah. So growing up, I did a lot of work with Disney and Nickelodeon,
Okay.
and just overall did a lot of film and television. And then I was on Degrassi for a long period of time. It was probably my longest job. And yeah, so most people recognize me from Degrassi.
For sure. And famously, the musician Drake was on there.
He was my love interest in the show. So
Wow, how old were you kids?
we were teenagers.
Okay, because we see Drake now,
Doing his thing.
getting lap dances and what have no.
I mean, he's a guy.
He is.
He's
He
a
is.
regular guy.
No question. And Drake deserves all of his things that he gets. But enough about him. So after Degrassi, what was the projection
change
like?
for me? Well, yeah, I did a lot. I moved to LA. I did a lot of theater.
Nice.
I did a couple more movies. I did a series in Canada on Showtime, Canadian network, and then as well I did a movie with Nickelodeon called Spectacular. And then I started kind of just learning about the social media space and learning about the internet and like how to kind of make my brand accessible and make the most of it, because that's something that's literally still changing all the time. And YouTube, it only started in like 2005.
Amazing, right?
I know.
Yeah, it seems like it's been here forever.
Exactly. So I really started to learn all of that, and then in the last couple of years I started to write and produce and started my web series Black Actress.
That's amazing. Well, I got to go back only to say that we talk about YouTube quickly. MySpace? Did you ever go?
Oh yeah, no, I totally
because
did.
you're a singer.
Yeah, I am, and I did them all. I mean, I worked on, I did 2 albums. I did an album in Canada. I did an independent one, and yeah, that was also a part of the importance of it. Was I wasn't just an actress; I was an entertainer. So,
Exactly.
A lot of the advice that I was getting from people was always like, well, like cultivate, like get all your fans in one place, and social media was just that. So that's why a lot of people always ask me like, why did you turn to the web? And I'm like, well, the web is the only place that I was able to just be an artist,
Right.
versus having to be in the boxes that Hollywood wants to
Total
put you in.
control.
Yeah, exactly.
That's great.
Yeah.
Well, you've worked with a lot of heavyweights, and I just got to say, because you just glossed over that film and TV career thing, but Diane Carroll,
Yeah.
crush.
Yeah, Diane Carroll is legendary.
Yeah.
I've worked with Diane Carroll,
Please.
Wesley Snipes,
Wesley, right.
Maya Angelou, Robert Townsend. Just a lot of really, people that I admired.
Yes.
Genuinely admired. So it's been good.
Maya.
Yes.
I mean, just to say, one name that's just
Oh my gosh.
unbelievable.
I know. I feel so grateful, to
To
have that experience in my life and to have had it at such a young age. And I remember at the time, it's like I didn't even really get to take it in like that, but my grandmother was just like losing it. It was like, this is the best thing ever. And she literally still has this Polaroid picture.
Wow.
Of myself and Maya Angelou together, and she always she keeps it in her purse.
But that's the beauty of it. Though,
Yeah.
Enjoying the journey and everything. I'm just disappointed that I didn't get a chance to really spend any time with her before she passed. We miss her so much. Rest in peace, Maya. Needless to say, on to happier things. You're in town for the American Black Film Festival.
Yes, I am.
And in the web composition series,
Yeah.
Origination. We were all rooting for you. You should have won.
Yeah.
American.
It's
so
okay.
proud.
It's okay. You know what? I came out with so much more. I spoke on the web series panel.
Exactly.
I was a part of
And
that.
I'm so sorry I missed that.
Oh,
Yes.
that's okay. I
No.
mean, it was an amazing panel, and then on top of that, throughout the whole festival, we were just getting so much love.
Sure.
So, we met a lot of people. So it was one of those where you're like, just being at that festival, at American Black Film Festival, you're a winner.
Definitely.
Overall, it was hands down one of the best festivals I've ever been to.
Well, I'm grateful to hear about that because I had a chance to be kind of involved with it when it first started.
Great.
Jeff Friday got it started at Uniworld when I was working there.
Yeah.
And we kind of started together. So I went to Acapulco for the first 5 years. And so it was just,
Goodness.
to see the evolution, 19 years in, and
Yeah.
20 years is going to be big for them next year.
Oh my gosh.
And I'm sure you're going to be
Huge.
there.
Oh yeah, because
Yeah.
they're bringing it back to the warmer weather.
Right.
in 20
They
Years,
might be going back down to Miami.
Yeah,
possibly.
so that would be. I loved it so much that when we left, we told everybody involved, we were like, we're coming every year. This is incredible. It was
my
just
God.
from down to the staff and how much love they give you, and then even just it's one of those environments where you're dealing with creatives and filmmakers and
Exactly.
people who are just passionate and want to make change, within this industry. So I honestly, I cannot speak more about it.
Yeah.
It's just it was such a great experience.
Well, this is, what's so great because whatever you feel about, all the kind of commercialism around things, when those people get on stage and give acknowledgement about, how deeply they're touched
Yeah.
from winning or being acknowledged or having interaction with folks, you just get soggy.
Oh,
you
yeah.
they had the commercial with the little girl from McDonald's. I needed a
Amazing.
tissue. It was just, it was like,
Amazing.
wow. I'm like, McDonald's, what? And,
Yeah,
it was
it was amazing.
heartstrings.
Exactly,
Yeah,
the whole
yeah.
thing, and then Jennifer Lewis.
Oh my God! Well, see, that's my perfect segue.
Okay.
I just gotta say, it should be on a TED Talk, as Chris Spencer mentioned.
Oh my
It was.
goodness!
She shut the place down,
Yeah.
dropped the mic, whatever, the whole thing.
It was incredible. Oh my gosh, I can't even.
But I got to say this though, I'm gonna steal your PR publicist.
Yeah.
You know, and I'm stealing your job because in the list of credits of the great people you've worked with and had on your show,
Jennifer Lewis.
Jennifer's missing.
Oh really?
Yes.
Oh my gosh, I totally gotta fix
Tatiana
that.
Ali,
Yes.
Vanessa Bell Calloway,
Yeah,
I mean
and-
all these incredible people.
Yeah, and Jennifer Lewis is
and
one of
Jennifer
she's
is
one of my favorite
Darcel Beveau,
interviews.
yes,
Yeah,
yes,
and on top of that too.
And I love the way you do that. too.
Yeah, we spoke with her manager Julia is one of my good friends, and
Sure.
so I was just talking to her about how incredible the speech was,
Oh, my God.
and she was bigging up ours. She was like, honestly, I send people links to yours all the time because we just happened to capture her on a great day,
Yes,
and as well. The power with Jennifer Lewis is it's like she's so knowledgeable,
It is.
and
She is.
the more you get to just spend time with her,
Mhm.
the more amazing you're gonna feel. She's gonna say all of this stuff. It's like she's everybody's auntie.
She's
She's everybody's.
unbelievable.
Oh,
I just have to say the one line that just resonated. I mean, all the lines she said were crazy, but she said, "The elevator to success is broken.
Take the stairs. No, I know.
Unreal.
It
step
was.
by step.
Yeah.
One step at a time. She was just amazing.
It was literally the most amazing
I just hope they
thing.
put that video somewhere because it was just
Have
really
to.
a great night.
Have
Great
to.
night.
Oh, yeah, have
But
to.
this is about you.
Okay.
Okay, I'm sorry. We got to talk about your new projects that you have coming up.
Yeah, so
Please. A relationship,
you know,
another relationship.
Well,
web series?
I started a production company,
Nice.
Jungle Wild
Yes,
Productions,
Jungle Wild.
and
Mhm.
you know, this was a dream of mine. I always knew since a young age that I was eventually going to do this, like
Right.
create and distribute and do projects.
Beautiful.
So, along with Black Actress, I have another series coming called Beyond Complicated that we've already started putting stuff out for it. It is a relationship series, but it's a unique one in the sense of the storytelling. Every episode is going to show his side and her side.
Okay.
You know, because when it comes to just communication overall, that's usually what it is. You know, the way I see it and the way you see it is two very different things, especially when you're in a relationship. So we wanted to really just like explore that dynamic and just show people what it looks like.
Sure.
You know,
Yeah.
Always learning. Obviously,
Right,
I
right.
think the point of most of my work is to teach in some way, and how can you learn from it? How can you be inspired by it?
Definitely.
So I wanted to put a spotlight on what it's like to date right now, what
right.
relationships look like right now.
Those are some of the best episodes of Black Actress. Is when she's interacting
Yeah.
on her personal life, her personal time, trying to find.
And yourself, you know what I
Something,
mean?
yeah,
And that's
yeah.
that's the thing is it's like I'm very inspired by my life and by my friends and by the communication that I have with them and you know, I have a lot of really exciting and interesting things happen to me all the time. So the most thing
Jealous.
No, but it's
Jealous.
like, you know,
No,
I always
it's-
say that
no,
you gotta be
that's
inspired
great.
by your life.
Exactly.
And so that's why I'm always kind of like, how can I film this? How can what can I do? I need to put a camera. And it's like, even today, one of my friends, we were like, we should do a short on going to a film festival because we just had so many funny
That would
and
be cool.
entertaining things happen to us.
So what's the other project?
Oh, so along with Black Actress, my other
Fuel.
series Beyond Complicated, I have another series called Fuel that we're
Right.
doing. That's a pilot. It's you know, really we're in the works of talking to networks for it, which is exciting.
Can you say anything about what the premise is? Or?
Yeah, so the premise, it is a little bit more on the dark side. It kind of touches on sci-fi. It's kind of got
Okay.
a comic book feel to it.
Nice.
But again, it's with a female lead of color and just kind of dealing with your inner strength,
Okay.
the good and the bad.
Right.
It teeter-totters on the difference between a vigilante and a villain.
Wow.
So it's very interesting. I'm really excited about the series. It's like I had the idea and literally just did not sleep just trying to finish writing it. Like I
Wow.
just spent like all these weeks just like clanging. And
So
so
cool.
yeah, I'm excited about that. We have another one coming about comedians.
Okay.
Because I'm a comedy fan.
Right. Sure.
I'm a big fan of comedians and what they do and the work and how that gets created. So I was like, I need to do something just on their process. So we have a lot of shows in the works.
Great.
And so it's going to be like an exciting next like year, 2 years for my
Right.
production company with just putting stuff out.
Excellent. Well, I'm unfortunately I could do this all day.
Yeah.
But I got to wrap this up. But we have to let folks know you shoot a lot of your show in Brooklyn.
I do. I shoot
Where we are
everything
at.
in Brooklyn. I shoot majority of my stuff, in New York, period. But
Right.
I always want Brooklyn to be my backdrop. So.
And
Yeah.
you might be coming back.
Oh, I'm totally coming back. Yeah, I'm so excited
That's so
about that.
cool.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm really excited to
Wow.
be making Brooklyn my like complete base and my home place.
Sweet.
Yeah.
Wow. We got so much. We need so much more. Andrea, I've got 1,000 questions. But anyway, you've been so gracious. Thank you so much for
Thank
coming.
you
And
so
please
much.
promise to come back.
Of course, of course.
Needless to say.
Thank you.
Andrea Lewis, guys, we can't thank her enough. We
Thank
will
you.
hopefully see you again soon, and much continued success on all the projects.
Thank you so much.
We love
Thank
it.
you.
We're going to be right back, and keep it locked. And we're with the lady of the hour. This is the person who put this all together with her team. I know she'll defer and give credit where credit's due, but Miss Wendy Lewis, Senior Vice President, handling diversity. She handles so many things under the diversity umbrella, but this MLB Diversity Summit is really her baby. And we're so happy to talk to her. Wendy, unbelievable event. This is so big. How proud of you of how it's coming off here in New York?
It's funny you refer to it as my baby. I couldn't be more proud than if it was my child. But I have to tell you, the thing that just makes my spirit sing actually is the fact that it really is such a collaboration with so many people. The commissioner,
Yes.
supports you. Jonathan Mariner, the gentleman that I report to, and the 30 clubs. It's just the way our clubs come together to really create what we think is really true and engagement opportunity. And so when you do something like this in the middle or the beginning of the season, that's what really makes it so unprecedented. But this, like no other, this is our third one. But this is the first time we get to do it in conjunction with Jackie Robinson Day. And that is what I think is just making me beam. The ideal of celebrating his legacy along with his family. You know, Sharon Robinson will be here. Rachel Robinson will be at the stadium tomorrow. And then also tomorrow, members of the Mr. Nelson Mandela family will be here. There is no greater way to celebrate, to me, true engagement, true opportunity, true inclusion. So you're right. I am the happiest woman in the world.
I got to ask you, Wendy, this is so big. You guys have really taken the lead. It's been, you know, this is a major league organization that has a long, long history.
Yes.
But of all the professional sports organizations, you guys have really taken the lead. Have you had any discussions with the other football or basketball? I mean, about what you guys are doing?
Yes, we have, and you know, and my peers and my associates over there are working real hard doing things their way. Some of them will actually be visiting us here just to check it out. So we love, of course, being the leader on this and being unprecedented. But nothing would be better for everybody if the other sports, you know, do likewise. Maybe one day we'll all do something together. But I agree with you. Sports, the landscape of sports is really wide and large, and I know that I have the kind of support and enthusiasm that I hear. And also, we have the legacy. We have the DNA of Jackie Robinson.
There you go.
So I think we have an extra source of responsibility here.
Well, I just got to ask a couple of questions, personal questions. Are you a New Yorker? Are you a native New Yorker?
Well, I have been here for almost 20 years, but really Chicago. I'm a Midwest lady, but relocated here to join Major League Baseball in the Commissioner's office after having great 8 seasons with the Chicago Cubs organization. So I've been around a little bit.
Okay. And where'd you go to school, if you can ask?
Actually, Northwestern University.
Okay.
Is where I got my MBA in the University of Wisconsin in Oshkosh, actually, for my undergrad.
In terms of that legacy, that history, is there any effort to do some other things in coordination possibly with the Negro League Museum or reaching out to those, the players that might still be around, and in coordinating something that gives people, and especially these young folks, a little bit more of the history so that they know really where this stands?
Yeah. The other leading initiative that the Commissioner actually launched last April actually, we're just celebrating the first anniversary for that, is the On-Field Diversity Task Force. And the On-Field Task Force is very complex and collaborative way to look at that whole player pipeline component. So the Commissioner, in ways, to me, deeper and wider than we've ever done before, is really addressing that whole underrepresentation and sort of slow coming back representation of African American players. And a part of that is that whole player piece, you know, sort of reuniting us with the history. So we have great relationships with Bob Kendricks in the museum. Baseball is a big supporter of the museum. So I think there's more to come in that realm.
Super.
Yeah.
Well, we're going to be excited to talk to you a little bit later. Can't thank you enough for giving us a little bit of your time. And congratulations, this is absolutely fabulous. Thanks again for giving us time.
Appreciate it.
Talk to you soon.
Thank you. Thank you.
And we're with one of the men who is putting this whole thing together, Senior Vice President of Corporate Communications for the Yankees. This is a really important figure in terms of working with Ms. Lewis for MLB, Brian Smith. Brian, great to see you.
Good to see you. We're honored to be here today. This is an amazing event. As you can see, the turnout. We have tons of people here, job seekers and vendors, and we're looking forward to be a productive 2 days here at this summit.
No doubt. Yeah. It's got to be exciting, bringing it to New York. Yes. Were you guys instrumental at all in making sure it came to New York this year?
Well, we had some conversations in-house, and we went back and forth with baseball, and we decided that this is something that we are committed to on a day-in, day-out basis, and it would be a great thing to bring it here to New York.
No doubt.
And we were excited to partner with Major League Baseball, Wendy and her team, to make it happen.
No question. I got to ask you, with regards to the diverse efforts that you guys are making at Yankee Stadium, and it's so well known what the club does, is there an outreach at all in terms of other diverse pockets as far as minor league baseball or the RBI programs, anything like that you know could bring more of that feeling to Yankee Stadium and to the organization?
Well, I can tell you this, across the board, there's a push to promote and sustain an inclusive environment.
Sure.
And when we mean that, it's not only for the job seekers, for the vendors, it's for our neighbors.
Yeah.
We have to provide access, and if you don't, you're not a productive neighbor, and we're committed to be a productive member of our community.
Excellent.
We do that by hosting events at the stadium, I was talking to some teachers a couple of weeks ago, and they said the most exciting classroom in New York City is Yankee Stadium, where we host our diversity business initiative, where we engage local youth to expose them to careers in the professional sports field.
Excellent.
In addition, through our programs such as Healthy Home Plate, where we take young people in from our community who are recognized. Unfortunately, our community is recognized for a number of areas where we're in first place where you're not excited about.
Right.
For example, it's juvenile diabetes, stage 2 diabetes in youth, obesity and so on, asthma. But we came up with this Healthy Home Plate initiative where we turn Yankee Stadium into a classroom to educate these young people on healthy lifestyle initiatives, and we bring them in on a consistent basis. So these type of programs and that ongoing commitment by the organization and that push from our ownership down to be a productive member and a cordial and a cooperative neighbor, that's our day-to-day focus.
Super. I got to ask you a few personal questions, just so we can get to know you a little bit better. Did you grow up in New York, or you're near New York?
I am from New York. I grew up in Mount Vernon, New York.
Great.
And because of our organization providing access, a young African-American male that grew up on the south side of Mount Vernon has the opportunity to talk to you today as the Senior Vice President of Corporate and Community Relations for the New York Yankees. Thank you.
Super. I got to ask you, Mount Vernon, I know Denzel's a big Yankee fan.
All right.
Are you guys partners at all? You hang out with Denzel much?
He's a little older. He's probably more around my sister's age.
Okay.
But I know he is a big Yankee fan.
Definitely.
We appreciate that. I've seen him around with the NY on his hat,
question.
and we thank him for that.
No question. Where'd you go to school?
I'm a graduate of Mount Vernon Public Schools. I went from Mount Vernon High School, and I went to undergrad and grad school at the University of Tulsa in Oklahoma.
Okay. Wow. Yeah. I've just got to ask, what took you all the way out to Oklahoma?
I was fortunate. I was as a student athlete. I excelled playing I did decent in the classroom and excelled as a athlete on the football field.
Okay.
And I was provided the opportunity to get a full football scholarship to the University of Tulsa.
Super.
And I was recruited by a number of other schools, and I said, you know what? I'm going to get away.
Yeah.
And I went to Oklahoma. And the young New York kid from New York was down in Oklahoma, and it all worked out well.
I got to ask, where were you at before you came to the Yankees organization?
When I finished grad school, I was briefly with Sobro, South Bronx Overall Economic Corporation.
Okay.
I was a case manager and a teacher, but I knew I wanted to get into the sports industry. I still had that drive to work and be involved with sports.
Right.
And I was able to make some contacts and got in front of some Yankee personnel and got my foot in the door as an intern.
Last thing, what do you expect from this summit, and where do you hope it goes in terms of future years?
As far as this summit, I wish everybody in attendance a productive 2 days.
Right.
I want to see people coming out of here with not only securing job opportunities and vendors securing opportunities. I want people to come out of here to say, this is amazing. Right. How can I continue this push and this drive? And just to be a part of that is incredible. And we want to see this grow from not only today, but on an annual basis.
We are here at the USATF Black Tie and Sneaker Gala. Amazing event, and the reason that Father and Sons is here and doing a great job bringing it to you is Simone Smalls of Simone Smalls PR and Strategic Heights Media, and you just started that company, Simone. Great to see you. Thanks so much for inviting us.
Thank you for having me. Thank you.
No doubt. I got to tell you, Simone is not a long time friend, but she's been just a great colleague, inviting us to some of the best events in New York City. If you need PR, you want to speak to her, we want to talk to you about mentoring and giving our young people some information about how you got started. Where did it all start for you in PR?
So it started for me in PR in college. Actually, I didn't know what I wanted to do. Actually, no, I did. I went to FIT, so I thought I was going to be a fashion stylist or a buyer, and I was introduced to PR through a PR course, and I fell in love with it, and I didn't know it was an actual career at the time. Like now more than ever, there are a lot of programs and PR majors. That wasn't available to me, or at least I didn't know it was available to me then. So, after taking a couple of classes, I was just like, oh, I love this. Like, this is what I want to do. And I just, studied and made it, got my degree in direct marketing and communications, did a lot of internships, and that is key for when you're in college and key if you want to get in this business. Do internships, because it helped. An internship helped me learn what I wanted to do, and it helped me perfect and put theory into practice. So I went on to do fashion PR. I started out in fashion PR and worked a lot on the 7th on 6 shows, the Fashion Week shows. I did a lot of that, and then I knew entertainment was always my passion. It was my first passion, so I wanted to marry the two. And, I started doing fashion and music PR and entertainment PR. And from there, I just became a publicist and, built my way up and, built this into a career.
This is New York's Olivia Pope, okay? I know she wasn't around back in those days, but you've done such a fantastic job. I know you worked on the Super Bowl Gospel Celebration with us a few years ago. You're doing so many things across so many industries. How did you make your contacts? I mean, after you once you found out you wanted to get into entertainment, how did you go about making those contacts?
Well, again, when you start out interning, and when you do a couple internships, you learn the business and you learn the people who are behind the scenes who can help you move to the next level. And that's what I did. You nurture those relationships, you find mentors, and that's what I did. I have some really great mentors when I was in college. And then when I started interning, even after college, I volunteered. I volunteered to help and work at events and, to just learn. Sure. And from then on, I found some great relationships, and you start really nurturing those relationships, and you ask people, you don't pester them, but you ask people to help you and to be encouraged, and give you informational interviews. And that's what I did, and I started finding my way and navigating my way through the industry.
I got to ask you 2 quick questions with regards to Strategic Heights that you've just started. Tell us a little bit about that. And then I want to ask you, are you encouraging interns to connect with you and possibly give them a little insight to the industry?
Yes. So Strategic Heights Media is a new company that I founded with my partner, with my business partner, Michelle Huff Elliott. Actually, she just got married, so let me just say that, Michelle Huff Elliott. And
Congrats, Michelle.
It's a media and communications company. So we recently started it and launched it and have been doing really well. We work with a lot of different companies. We're doing a lot of content marketing. We are doing a lot of events. We're doing a lot of entertainment, building a lot of entertainment platforms for companies, and working with a lot of media and doing, pretty much branching off into a media company more so than a PR company.
And if there's some youngsters that are coming into their summer months and they have some time off and they want to reach out,
we love interns. We love to give people a break. We love to bore a hole and pull someone through. In this industry is not easy. We know how tough it is, so we encourage students who are in college to do it during their summer months or for college credit, to apply for internships with our company, and we'll take a look at them and see if we have an opportunity for them. And a lot of the interns that we've had and that I've had in the past have gone on to become employees, as well as to become on. I've recommended them for really great jobs at BET, at fashion companies, at for media companies, and for some TV companies as well. So you never know. Sky's the limit.
This is an NV Mover and Shaker from 2015. Been honored. We thank you so much for your time, but I guess I just got to ask, how do people get in touch with you? What's the best way to do that?
The best way to get in touch with me is to email me at info@SimoneSmallsPR.com or info@strategicheights.com. And that's HEIGHTS.
For you non-spellers out there, needless to say, thank you so much, Simone. Thanks for inviting us. We're having a great time.
Appreciate it.
Enjoy the rest of the night.
Thank you. You too. Thank you.
That's it for Father and Sons, but we'll be back in a little bit, so keep it locked. Thanks again for joining us. Please check out our Real Dreams TV YouTube channel. And you know what we say about Black history? Know it, share it, make it.